So the right-wing media figures are absolutely scrambling in this moment because, of course, Trump basically announcing that I'm not releasing the Epstein files. That led to a whole heap of problems for them. The MAGA base revolted. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll see, though, some of them are revolting against Trump, to be fair, but there's also a lot of them who are saying, Pam Bondi's the problem. I don't know why I did that in the Trump accent, but Pam Bondi's the problem. Why you got to fire Pam Bondi? Dan Bongino's the problem. Fire Dan Bongino. Kash Patel's the problem. Fire Kash Patel. So they're coming up with various ways of coping and trying to blame the people around Trump, or they're trying to find a way to blame Democrats. You guys know, this is what happens. Usually in the first 1 or 2 days, it's like they're scrambling to land on a certain kind of spin. But after they land on that spin, then usually they stick with it. But this is from the phase, the first 2 days here, where the base is like revolting over this. And as you can see, Sloppy Steve panics and does not know what to do when being confronted about Trump basically being the deep state. Watch this.
If you were in the Oval this morning with the president before he left for Kerrville, Texas, give me your top 3 things that you would tell the president of the United States that coming from a young person in the base and a dedicated worker and follower of his that you feel he needs to do right now.
We need to enforce the laws of this country. And, like you said, Steve, there's no better question than who rules America. It's not the people. So we need to obviously have the declassification of the
You don't
Epstein
think
files.
Donald Trump is president? You would tell Donald Trump in the Oval Office that you think there's an open question with him as commander in chief and doing all he's doing. You would actually tell Trump you don't know, you question who rules this country?
I definitely would, because it's a blackmail ring, and anybody who wouldn't is not paying attention. Simply put, Epstein himself said that he was best friends on the stand with Donald Trump. So anybody who thought that these files were going to get just declassified because we pressured him enough or you voted harder enough is just lying to yourself, frankly.
Do you agree with a special prosecutor has to be an independent special prosecutor has to take over? Do you believe that DOJ and FBI right now, with the guys who are all close to, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve, because in 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump, but now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say he's become the deep state?
What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles? Why would you go to that island? Why? Tell me, why would you go to that island? Why would you go on the plane? Why his top donors? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Why are his top donors neighbors?
Anybody agree with that? Are we going to lose part of the base if we don't, Burkhorn, are we going to lose part of the base if we don't pursue this?
Just so everybody knows, I didn't know this actually until recently. Steve Bannon has hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein that he hasn't released. Steve Bannon himself did hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein, and he hasn't released it. In fact, Steve Bannon, I think said during Trump's first run that the only person who could destroy this whole MAGA movement is Jeffrey Epstein. And so I do have to correct that kid on one thing, the kid who was questioning them. It's not that Trump has become the deep state. Trump was the deep state all along. That's the thing that these people never understood, is that the buck always stopped with him, right? When he was bombing Syria, when he was bombing Yemen, when he was like all the horrible pulling out of the Iran agreement in the first term, killing Qasem Soleimani, increasing the drone strikes over 400%. That was all him. That was all him. So the idea he was like a bulwark against the deep state, it's just not true. It's never been true. He's always been the deep state. But now you see the fact that talking point has now made it to somebody on the right where they said Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for over a decade. That's how you know the left is winning the messaging war. That's how you know when we hammer away, it's been working. That we've been so aggressive and so persistent and so strong in getting this message across and explaining to everybody, look, here's the video of Jeffrey Epstein saying Trump was my best friend for over a decade, that it's undeniable now. It's undeniable. Now, there will be people on the right who will deny it. And like I said, we're already witnessing that. We saw that with Tim Dillon. We saw that with Alex Jones. Tim Dillon said, I think Trump knows that these people will kill him if he releases the list. It's not that he's on it. It's that, he's going to be killed if he releases it. Alex Jones is out there saying Democrats doctor the list. So there is cope, there is spin, but you could see the rumblings of something real here. And that's why I posed to you guys early on, Do you think this is going to be the thing that gets Trump to his floor between 26 and 33% of the country in the polls? Do you think this is going to be the thing? I don't think quite yet. I think he'll be more like 35, 36 in his lowest poll. Average might be about 40, right? But I think that the spin, like we've seen this so many times already, I think the base will rebel a little bit, then come right back. Rebel a little bit, then come right back. And we're already seeing that with some of the media figures. The question is, how many in the base go along? And I think that at the end of the day, they mostly love the show of Trump. They love the vibes of Trump. And if you're in the base, you're a true Kool-Aid drinker. So fundamentally, you'll ride or die with the cult. And I think Trump was gambling on that when he released that statement saying, Obama wrote the Epstein files. Hillary Clinton wrote the Epstein files. I think he was gambling on, I already got these suckers, so watch this. And first 2 days, they're not too happy, but we'll see what happens from here. Should be interesting. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.